And here's what I'm going to say. Fa la 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 la. Welcome to Woodbine Mohawk Park. What kind of joke is this?
Unbelievable, eh? And where did it come from? I mean, when I drove in, it was just barely coming down. And now all of a sudden I look out and it's like, hey, go build a snowman.
This is the third winter, I believe, that we're celebrating right now. Look at this.
Yeah.
CRAP. This is pure crap.
I'll say it is.
Not happy. You know what? I thought maybe Chad might put on
You're
one of
blaming
his
Chad?
Christmas sweaters today. Just because, we're going to have one more go at Christmas, it looks like tonight. I guess the guys who are the smart ones would include Trevor Henry and Louis Waugh, because they're in Florida.
They're away.
Right now, so they're not even worried about this at all. And, of course, our drivers tonight are going to have to contend with this. This isn't fun. Not for anybody.
And unexpected.
Yeah, absolutely. But hopefully this is it. I did see that on Sunday, we go up to 14 degrees and it's sunny. And then from there on, I think we're in for a pretty good...
Ooh, come on Sunday.
I know. Can you believe we're almost at the middle of April and we're still playing around with snow.
Yeah. No, I'm not real keen on it either. And what irks me is the fact that it was bad enough when it was barely coming down. Seems like it's coming down pretty steady there right now. But, it is, 0 degrees out, so it won't stick around.
No, it's probably, well, it looks like right now it's going to stick around, but hopefully not overnight. And one of the best things about being in the Hall of Fame and now being a commentator is that you get to hang out in here instead of hanging out there.
Yeah, this is the best part of the whole thing. Absolutely. This is fantastic.
So 10 races on the card for you tonight. And as Chad had mentioned, it's a great look. We both just got our Saturday program and I'm pumped about it. This is a really good Saturday card that we have coming up. 10 good races on tap for you tonight. We've got Ontario Spring Series action for you this evening. No Trevor on tonight's program, no Louis on tonight's program. As I mentioned, they're both down in Florida. Trevor was busy. He was qualifying at Spring Garden Ranch today. I actually just saw the pictures go up today, qualifying for Scott McEnany.
I heard, yeah. So that's a good sign. That usually means that they're getting ready to come back. I heard Doc Moore had also qualified a couple. Good. That means that he's already got a few horses up here now at Shamrock right now. So all those stables are going to be coming up. And you know what that means? That means that not only we're going to be getting into some real juicy young horses, but we're going to have some serious full fields.
Oh, yeah.
Because, there's all these 3-year-olds are going to have to start racing back and the older horses and that. No, really looking forward to the next couple of weeks.
Well, if you look ahead to the Saturday program, too, especially with the jackpot mandatory high five that we're going to have in the last race, I think there's 12 in the last, 12 in the 11th race on Saturday night. So that and full fields all night long on the Saturday
And it'll
program.
only get more deeper and better horses.
And that means some tougher handicapping to boot. Want to talk about a big milestone that happened over the last couple of days. Brett McDonald down in the United States, reminding people what Canadians are capable of. He had a huge victory with Salzburg Victor down at Oak Grove, which is in Kentucky, on Monday. And the pot was huge for this, Randy.
Yeah, they were going for big money, I mean, congratulations, Brett. Way to go. Nice number, 2,000. The only thing that scares me a little bit, now, when he comes back across the border, does that mean that he automatically loses 25 of those wins on the tariff? Are they susceptible to tariff,
They
too?
might be.
Does he come back here and now he's got to start the whole process all over again? No, congratulations, Brett. Way to go. And what a, sometimes a young driver needs that that horse that's going to get him noticed. And this is the guy, Salzburg Victor. He's been so good to Brett and Brett's dad. Just an amazing horse.
So many times when Salzburg Victor will win here at Mohawk, it's like he can't even pull him up. Remember, it's kind of like he can go around for another mile. He's just such a cool horse.
Yeah.
So our congratulations goes out to Brett McDonald on that big milestone. And then, of course, James McDonald, who just keeps on winning races here. Man, he's really piling them up. And not only is he having nights with 2, nights with 3, forget about that. It's nights with 5. Astronomical numbers where he's winning 50% of the card. He did that on Monday night.
Oh, look at that. There you
Super
go.
James.
Yeah. Now, where does a person go to buy that comic book there? Because I would love to take that to the washroom with me.
So Clive Cohen, who's our amazing track photographer, and he's won numerous awards for the photography that he's done, he is responsible for not only this, but also that James McDonald action figure that they put out the other day as well. These are not for sale. It's just for fun. But that should turn into a poster. Don't you think that would be an awesome giveaway poster for one of the big nights here at Mohawk, and James could sign them?
Yeah, for sure. It's really cool. I like the idea of that. And they gave him 2 separate pairs of boots. They got the yellow boots for home and the blue boots for away.
I'd like to
So,
see him wear yellow boots now.
yeah. I think he should have to wear yellow boots, because if he doesn't, then that's false advertisement. So get them yellow boots out there. I can remember going to Montreal when I was young, and Rick Zeron had a pair of patented blue boots.
Now, does that surprise you?
Not at all.
Not
But were they
at
ever
all.
sharp looking? Because back then, the only other person that I seen that had patent leather driving boots was John Campbell. Had a set of maroon ones, and on the back of the heel, where your driving boots gets rubbing on the stirrup and that. His was all ostrich skin, so that it couldn't rub through.
That's
and then the
cool.
next time I seen a pair of patent leather driving boots was Rick Zeron in Montreal with a set of blue ones, and they were pretty sharp.
That doesn't surprise me at all. And I bet you on Saturday night when he's got Jabberwocky in, he'll wear those boots if he's watching the show tonight, just so you can see them again.
I'm hoping that he wears the boots and the fur coat. Wouldn't that be a look?
With the weather we have, you might as well get the fur coat out. Don't put it in storage yet. Hall of Fame nominees were announced just the other day as well. I can't believe we're at that time of the season. It's still snowing, of course, but we're talking about Hall of Fame nominees. That's always something that we talk about in the spring. Brad Grant nominated. Of course, he's been in this industry for a long time, a big leader here for us. Ken Oakes nominated from PEI. That's a big nomination for them. And Dr. Maurice Stewart, otherwise known as Mo, who's been an Alberta vet for a long time as well.
He was huge in the business when I was growing up. Maurice Stewart, wow. And then we still, Dave Briggs looking to
Good journalist,
add to his collection of trophies, awards. Vance Cameron worked with him once too, and we didn't even have a brouhaha. We didn't even have a brouhaha. We got along very, very well. Paul Deline, great writer from Quebec.
So yeah, I mean, that's just the standardbreds. Majestic Sun, of course, nominated as one of the best trotters here. Muscle Mass, I mean, tell me what that horse did.
Tough little group there.
Exactly.
And
these are just the finalists. This isn't necessarily who's getting in. Doug
Oh,
Arthur.
this is a tough one.
Yeah, John Bax, of course. These are some huge names, and Rod Hennessy. I mean, big finalist names there.
Oh, huge! Yeah, really, really huge. I'm not as I have obviously haven't followed Rod Hennessy as much because he's been out west, but I know who he is. But those other two, Doug Arthur and John Bax, killers.
Goliath Bayama, Yankee Paco. I want to talk about how you get the nickname Roach.
I don't know. He was a pretty interesting dude, though. That old Jim Roach McGregor.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting guy. Very interesting guy. He was one of those kinds of guys that he could do it all and at the same time sell you a sneaker for a rubber boot, all at the same time. Remember in Green Acres, Mr. Haney?
No, but I'll go with you on it.
Kind of reminds you a little bit of the Mr. Haney kind of a deal.
Kind of guy.
If you had a dealing with him there, whatever, he was a good, solid kind of a guy, but there's a pretty good chance he was going to come out ahead. Yeah, really, very interesting character.
It's
Good
good
luck to all. Listen, for the people that that haven't made it in yet or haven't quite got there, it's still a huge thing to be nominated.
Oh, absolutely.
Huge.
Absolutely.
Now, quickly before we move into here on the thoroughbred side, because I did notice it there, big showdown between what is it, Dos Ramos and Ram
Richard
Sammy?
Dos Ramos, Ram Sammy. I mean, like these are like
Where do you lean?
I like Rick. Rick and I have been friends for a long time. I like Emil. Emil's been a great rider too. I found myself in the winner's circle on numerous occasions with Rick. He was always a fun guy to interview. He was always really honest with you after the race was over. He'd tell you exactly what was going on. Just a really great guy. And now he's out there mowing lawns. He's working as a golf superintendent.
Good for him.
Yeah,
Oh,
but he was
nice.
busy this winter. I know he was down south over the winter acting as an AT down there for Nathan Squires. So, he's still got a hand in the horse racing industry, but, he's dabbling with something that was maybe a passion for him, which is landscaping.
Yeah, well, listen, I mean, the way I look at it, those jockeys, when they come out of that and they're done their career, if they're healthy, that's a huge score right there, because the life that they have to live, the fact that they're so tiny and they got to come off them horses going, between 35 and 40 miles an hour. I can't believe that they don't get pounded even worse than they do.
Well, the last time Rick was at the track and I was there, I just happened to be in the upstairs where the jocks weigh out after the races, and we put him on the scale. He was riding weight. He was basically close to riding weight.
Good for him.
Yeah, good for him. But you know what it was, Randy? Same for you. His back got the better of him. And that's it's hard on your back, even for people like me who didn't drive thousands and thousands of races. Just that constant what would you say? It's just like it's that bumping on your back constantly.
Truthfully, and I think some of
Yeah.
it's posture.
Well, that too, but I
know.
always found myself sitting up tall. But that'll get you as well.
Sometimes when you're a little bit, but when you're built like me there, when your legs are like a giraffe, you
Yeah.
kind of got to wedge yourself
Yeah.
in there, you know what I'm saying? Biggest thing that helped make my career go longer was when drivers started using their own race bikes.
Right.
Because it was set for me.
Yeah,
the
that's
stirrups
right.
were set perfectly for me, and if I got to use that, 10 times a night, that was perfect. But before that, when you were, I remember one time there, Trevor Ritchie explained to Cal Campbell that Robitaille would only race good in Trevor's bike there. And I swear the stirrups weren't that long. And he made Cal put me in that bike. And
You can't fit in that.
my knees were banging off my chin the whole time there, whatever. And then I finally, when I did see Trevor after the winter was over, he was down in Florida. I said, why does that horse have to wear, I think his name was Proof Rock. I said, why does he have to wear your bike? He said he didn't. I just wanted to see you riding in it. I'm like, oh, okay, thank you.
I mean,
Way to go, Trevor.
To put that into perspective, Trevor was what, 5'4"? Maybe on the best of days?
Yeah, when
right?
you stretched them out.
All right, let's get into the handicapping. Race number 1 on tonight's program. Now, keep in mind, this track is going to be a little sloppy, I think. It is listed as
windy.
good right now. Yeah, but just watch it. We'll let you know how if it happens to change it all. Fillies and Mares in the opener, non-winners at $2 or $30,000 on the trot here for race number 1 on the program. Last week, Exquisite Taste was the easiest of winners. Back on April the 3rd, this was her comeback race, her first start as a 3-year-old for Eric Nadeau. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Can she come right back and do it again?
I think so. I went that's the route that I went. She's picking up J.R. Plant. Elisa was telling you there. Louis not going to be with us tonight. He's a part owner of this one. But J.R. does a lot of driving for Eric Nadeau and Louis, and he's doing really good over here right now, J.R. Driving at a 210, and trust me, he's not exactly getting the best of the best, but I do think that this one has a real good opportunity in here, middle of the gate, raced amazingly well last week. If anything, she should only improve from that effort, and she qualified quite well too. So I think that JR is going to get her in a good spot, hopefully get kind of covered up in here by, maybe incantation. She looks like she's going to take a lot of support in here. And maybe we might even get an outside lead from Film at 11. She made a break in her last, took a lot of support, but made a break in her last. And Cadiddle also took a lot of, not as much support, but has been racing extremely, extremely well. She made a break in her last as well. So there might be a couple of drivers being a little bit careful, but Incantation, she's coming in here clean and, can chop a mile, no problem. Exquisite Taste right now, clean as well. So I'm kind of hoping that they end up landing 1-2, and it ends up being 1-2 with the 5 over top of the 7.
And we'll see what she thinks about this racetrack too, because generally she's been on a fast track. So this will be her first time maybe getting a little bit of dirt in her face. Let's go to race number 2, second half of the early double. We're on the trot here again, and this time it's the Green Book that looks very interesting. This is the first start this season for this now 3-year-old daughter of Green Manalishi. Shannon Henry trains. Of course, Trevor not here tonight. He's down qualifying horses at Spring Garden Ranch in Florida, so he's nice and warm. Travis is going to drive this horse tonight, Travis Henry. Very interesting filly here. Last year's 4 starts, just the 1 third-place effort. Probably needed to get some time to grow, but she's hooked a very small field, and because of that, I think she's got a legit shot.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is it's a short field, but very, very competitive kind of a field in with this one. I like Green Book. Now, hear me out on this. I mean, really, she does show probably the most depth of last year. She was racing in the Golds. The rest of them were doing either prospect, grassroots, not quite the depth that what Green Book showed you. I like her in here. I got her in for 3rd. My biggest thing is that sometimes as a driver, you come in here, and obviously Travis is going to sub for Trevor tonight. And sometimes when I don't know who Travis Henry's idols are, but I'm guessing that probably Trevor Henry is pretty close to being one of those idols, And sometimes when you come in here and you get that chance to drive a horse that's just going to be making its first start back, you want to do it as easy as possible. Usually. I mean, maybe they've had a couple of schoolers into this one. Maybe she's good to go. I think with the rail, the biggest thing that's going to be going through Travis Henry's mind is get her, clean, nice clean trip, a nice easy kind of a trip for her. If I can get the job done, great. So I think that there's a chance, maybe just a chance, that she could be a little bit out of position. That's what I'm kind of going on this one. So I'm going to go Deborah. with this one. Now, this is a filly that came out last fall for Bill McClure, and I really, really loved her. And I not only just the way what she was doing on the track, but it's the way that she was doing it, the power that she seemed to possess, the whole deal. So let's take a look at the qualifier, not the qualifier, a replay from October the 21st. Now, this is the first leg of the harvest. The reason I'm showing you this one is because this is the first time that I really seen them kind of like, let her sort of trot on the end of it. Now, she ends up trotting a mile in 57 and 4, or excuse me, 56. She chops this mile and comes back. The week before, she went in 57. It just seems to me like everything at this point was starting to progress. But then after this start, you see things kind of starting to go the other way. She gets tired, finishes second on the front. Next start, she ends up making a break. They end up shutting her down, bringing her back. Don't do much with her in the qualifier. James goes with her. Bobby McClure coming back. Short field. I love the way that she can do it either way. I'm going to take a chance here because I know if she comes up with a big effort tonight, I'll never get a price next week. So I'm going to take a chance with the beat the favorite. She's going to be on mine.
Good stuff. All right, lots of different choices here, even though it's just a smaller field of 6 in race number 2. Over to race number 3. Third race on the program is where we kick off the Ontario Sire Spring Series. Looking forward to this series. A field of 7 pacers in the third race on the card, and Whiskey Blue Chip has drawn the tricky outside post, but it's only the 7-hole tonight. Mario Bayarjan, the regular driver for Bill McClure. And, there's a busy night for that outfit because, of course, they send out Deborah in race number 2, and then they've got Whiskey Blue Chip here in the third.
Yeah, hoping Uncle Bill can, pick himself up 2/3 of the opening pick 3. Whiskey Blue Chip's the way that I'm going to go. I think that this is a nice little series for her. I know she draws the outside, but she has good gate speed to work with. I got better in heels in here as well. I like the way that she's qualified back. 2 nice seconds for Paul and Nicole Davies. This one a better than Cheddar filly. Last year, 8 times she was started, 4 times top 2. But what about the 54 and 4 over Grand River as a 2-year-old? That is a really, really impressive kind of a speed badge. And funny business, threw this one in as well. I think that she should be racing a little bit better than what she is. I mean, she had a really good harvest until the final, draws the 10-hole. Nothing goes her way in the final of the harvest. She could never really get involved. Then comes back with the 1 qualifier, although a good one, last quarter in 27 and change. Picks up Jody tonight. I'm just going to put her in as a part of it, but wouldn't be surprised coming out of Rouleau's barn to see her come up with a big effort.
Yeah, I tossed in the 1-horse too, Goond again, because I was on her team back on April the 3rd. I thought her races were certainly improving, and she might have been sitting on a big one, and she managed a 3rd place effort last start. Didn't take a ton of support. She wasn't the favorite, but she wasn't a long shot in that race, and she could be a player here to do with Dougie getting a chance to drive her.
Dougie and Uncle Mo there, he's sending in a shoeing change on her. She's going to go from steel to aluminum in front on Goond again.
Oh, that's our move.
That's right. So he's speeding her up a little bit with the rail. Dougie McNair jumping up. Uncle Murray could be maybe showing us his hand.
I missed that equipment change because I was busy looking up songs for Eartha Kitt for you.
Whose fault was that?
Yeah, well, you. Oh, the Nikes. I missed that move, so I feel a little bit better about that.
There you go.
Race number 4, 4th race to kick off the pick 6. We got more trotting action here. We were having a little fun with the 5-horse last week doing the hokey pokey, but we found out it's a town in Florida, I think it is what we learned. But this is a Ben Hollingsworth trainee. Second last start out. That was back on April the 3rd. James back on the bike again tonight. Remember we were saying too on the show last week, or on April the 3rd, whenever that was. Was that last week? I can't quite remember now. But it was? Wow. Okay. What were we saying? Oh, you wouldn't get the 50-1 that you got the week before. And, tonight, I don't even know if you're going to get any kind of a price on Pahokee.
Yeah, he's probably going to open up, I would guess, as be your
the
chalk
favorite.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of looking at as well. So Pahokee is the way that I'm going to end up going in this race. We're going to take a look at this last qualifier. I thought that this was a good effort. Now, I put him up on top in his last one. I thought that, with that nice locked in, good movement on the end of it second, that he could come up with an even bigger improvement. I thought he did improve. I thought that this was a good effort that he put in, but I like him even better in here tonight. He's a big horse, and I think that he's going to need a few starts. If I'm not mistaken, if I'm not mistaken, also, I think that Il Zogno Dream was a bit of a lazy horse himself. He has thrown a few horses that do appear to be a little bit lazy as well. So I think that horses like this They get a few starts into them, boom, they're ready to go. This one has a few starts into them. I think Ben's done a great job bringing this one back down again. And James is either going to turn this guy back over to Wayne Henry with a win, which I think that she's going to have tonight, or probably another second. Either way, she's going to be a player tonight.
Well, the 6 is another horse that you've used. I've used this horse as well. A lot of people are playing Fisherman's Blues to help us out with the exactor. And why? Because there was a 3rd place finish behind a runaway, much the best winner in Chicago Hall last week.
Yeah, much the best in there, no doubt about it. And this one raced good, you know, and came in here maybe a little bit light, 2 weeks off. So it could be a little bit better effort tonight for Fisherman's Blues as well.
You know who's a hot and cold horse that was hot last week? Sushi Bar.
Sushi Bar.
I mean,
yeah.
Sushi Bar sometimes is there, and Sushi Bar sometimes is at the back of the bus.
Yeah,
you know, you
but
just never know what you're going to get.
He's going to like this class.
Yeah, never know what you're going to get.
Bunch, I think.
Race number 5 on the program. We are on the pace. This race for fillies and mares, 5-year-olds and younger, non-winners of 1. And we've got 10 in this spot. Now, here's an interesting stat. Every single one of these horses is making their first start of the year. So a very evenly matched group, some with a couple of qualifiers, some with just 1 qualifier, some with 3 qualifiers, like the one horse Beach Games, who has, you know, tried to qualify a couple of times, had a break in the first qualifier and then came back a month later to finish 5th in his qualifier, I should say. So yeah, a lot of horses here that we're gonna just be taking a flyer on to see just who's the one who's ready to win tonight. I kind of went with this, My Mom's an Ace horse, and I'm happy that you are going to play the replay from this pretty easy qualifying victory.
Yeah, that's the big thing is, you know, how easy it was done. I mean, she's got some tough kind of horses in here. I like this Gooseberry coming in here for McNair's, and I really like the James horse in here for Murray Breather for what is that? Forever After All. Yeah, but My Mom's an Ace is definitely going to be the way that I go as well. What I kind of liked about her too, Elisa, is that she wins October the 29th at London. Now look at the lines before that. She does show not a bad line on the bottom where she was finished 5th, but the next 2, she's getting beat double digits, and then she comes back with a chop, and where she's an easy winner in 59, and then she's a vet scratch sick after that. I think she was maybe sick a couple starts in there, but really showed some fortitude where she was able to go down the road and still end up winning that race at 13-1 for Brian Eckstein and Jason Ryan. Now she comes back with this qualifier. I think it was a good one, and she's going to pick up McClure again. So yeah, she's going to be the way that that I'm going to go in here. This 4-horse Gooseberry. Now here's one for you. You spent a lot of time in the States. I was watching the thing there today where some guy was going on about huckleberries are the most delicious thing.
Huckleberry pie.
But they have huckleberry everything. They got huckleberry pop. They got huckleberry this, huckleberry that.
What state is that where huckleberry is hot?
This was a state. It was Montana.
Oh, really?
It was Montana.
Have you ever had huckleberry?
Never.
No,
I was
neither.
wondering if you've ever had.
Well, wasn't
them.
Huckleberry the name of a character on Yogi Bear? Was it Yogi Bear?
Well, I don't know. It was Huckleberry Finn.
Am I right? Yeah.
Huckleberry
well,
Finn.
yeah, but I mean, I'm not a Mark Twain. Look at you with all these exciting quotes.
Exciting quotes. It's a huckleberry. I just asked you if you've ever had a huckleberry, for the love of God. I didn't come up with the E equals MC2. Add some huckleberries in there.
Now you're gonna make me Google this too. First he's got me Googling Eartha Kitt songs. Now I'm gonna have to Google huckleberry and all the how you make the pie and all. Do you want to talk about the horse at all? He was second in that qualifier and behind my Mom's an Ace. Alrighty, 6th race. Let's go to the trotters in the 6th. More Ontario's Hard Spring Series action for you in a field of 7. Alrighty, now kind of similar to the last race, the 5th race, where quite a few horses are making their first start of the season. There's really only 3 horses in the race that have actually competed already. White Ignite was that firster that raced for Mark Etzel and, you know, unfortunately made a break right off of the gate. Roxy Hart, now you and I were working that night together when Roxy Hart came out, and I think I was the one who said she looked like she was a bit lit up, like just too much. And then, of course, everything went awry right at the end.
Yeah. I myself, like, I agree with you. I think that she was wired up pretty good last night too. First start back after some, you know, little bit of time away or whatever. So, where I did like about this though is the fact that, in my opinion, she showed some serious go on the end of it. Now, Benoit's going to go from steel to aluminum in front. I'm not 100% sure if she just didn't overtrot herself here. She might have just spun out because right now she has go. You can see Tyler's already moved her off of cover and he's just sitting on her there. You know, he's letting her do her trot and she's reaching real hard here right now. And I'm thinking to myself there right at this point when he really starts to let her roll, I think that maybe she just rolled herself off stride. Either way, she's either going to be second or third in there, but she's only going to get beat a half a length. And now Benoit's going to come back with the shoeing change on this one. He's going to go from steel to aluminum in front. I think that if anything, that's only going to help her. So Roxy Hart is the way that I'm going to go back in here. But I do think that this resolve indeed could end up being a bit of a spoiler from the outside. A couple of qualifiers into her, and James win the last qualifier with her after he made a leading move out of there. When James shows one, you know, over shows one in the qualifier, they're usually pretty good to go.
Yep.
Because he will not show one that he thinks isn't ready to go, and he's qualified this one twice. So I think that she could be a little bit of a fly, but I really do think that Roxy Hart's going to come back with a big effort.
What movie is Roxy Hart in?
Movie.
Yeah, who's the character Roxy Hart? If we're gonna get on that.
Would that be
Chicago.
Chicago. Oh no, is that
And
okay.
just so you know,
Uh-huh.
I was
There we go.
right. Huckleberry Hound.
Huckleberry Hound. There you go.
Huckleberry
I remember
Hound.
him.
It was a
Yeah.
Hanna-Barbera cartoon.
There you go.
Yeah.
Huckleberry Hound. Yeah. But anyway, supposedly, if you're in the States, huckleberries are the bomb. Never had one.
All right.
And
Okay.
and I'm not even 100% sure if Lisa knows what she's talking about.
I don't. Most times I don't.
Make me a huckleberry pie, Lisa.
Okay. Like I wonder, it's got to be blue. If the dog in the cartoon is blue, then huckleberries must be like a blueberry.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
but they had
yeah.
it with everything in this grocery store. It was
bet
everything was huckleberry this,
It's the
huckleberry
American
that.
version of a blueberry.
Maybe.
How about that? Maybe.
Yeah. But the guy did say that it was the first time that he tried it, and he said they're delicious.
Okay, that's it. We're going to
There you
order
go.
one. We're
Yeah.
going to order one, get it shipped up.
We're going to split a huckleberry.
Race number 7 on the card tonight, where we kick off the late pick 4. We're looking at some lower end claimers in this race, which are always quite fun to watch because it's, you know, a lot of these horses will switch barns occasionally. Some horses, like say Bet 19, has been on an absolute tear this year. You know, from 8 starts, a couple of wins, a couple of seconds. Doesn't really miss a check. Just a nice little horse to have in the barn. Let's Get Pickled with a tough post position. Finished second behind Dirty Little Piglet, who was a logical winner, I think, back on April the 3rd.
Yeah, Piglet's racing very well right now. Let's Get Pickled. I got him in for second. I think he's racing as good in this class as anybody, but unfortunately he is going to have to do his racing from the outside post tonight with the 9. So I got him in for second. Haven't totally wrote him off. Just looked for a way that I thought maybe I could beat him. And Here's That Man Again is the way that I'm going to go in this race here. We do have the replay, but it's going to be of the January 20th race on him, way down on the bottom. Now, he does win this race, and the reason why was because I just wanted to show you how Tyler raced him this night. He races him down in amongst him. He's been making a lot of moves lately, but this night he stayed down. Now, he's had a little bit of time off, taking the drop down off of a vet scratch lame in his last start, so he's missed a little bit of time. February the 24th would be his last charted race. But look at this point. He finally gets him out here. Now, we are way down deep into the lane at this point. You can just see that's your last 1/8 of a mile right now that we're looking at. And this guy just put them on. I mean, he doesn't just win. He wins. He's shut down. Tyler's lifting. He's shut down. So I'm thinking that the time that he's missed away, the fact that probably Renee's done a little bit of vet work to him to get him sound or whatever, get him to go good. I think that there's going to be a chance that he's going to race him the same way as he raced him that way. And I think that that's how this horse likes to race the best. But sometimes when they're taking a lot of betting support, you got to get them to the outside. You got to give them a chance. I don't think he's going to see as much betting support. He might go off his favorite, but I think it's going to be a little bit of a lukewarm kind of a favorite. So I'm thinking that he can race him that same way. It's not just the fact that he win, it's the fact that he destroyed them when he win, and I'm going to hope that maybe we might see the same thing again here tonight.
See, yeah, I wasn't sure about the February 24th to now thing, and I did write needs one beside him, like with a question mark.
Yeah.
Just thinking maybe he'll need a race tonight, and then we'll play him next time. But you're right. I don't think he'll be the favorite, even though the morning line made him the favorite. I think other horses will take more support, horses that have been racing on a regular rotation.
And if he is the favorite, I think it's going to be lukewarm.
Yeah.
Could be one of them races where there's like 3 of them at 2 to 1
Well,
or 5
maybe
to
let's
2.
watch the tote board on that one and see what kind of early money shows up on that horse.
Yeah,
Alrighty, race number 8, the kick to play the final pick 3. Ontario's Hard Spring Series action for you here on the pace with a field of 7. I had a little laugh to myself when I saw this 7 horse here in this race. This is her first start of the season because a couple years ago I was really lucky. Greg Blanchard asked me if I would try to, read pedigrees at the London Classic yearling sale, and you know that it was hard for me. Like that, it took a lot of homework, right?
Oh, I'll say.
A lot of homework, especially that first year, and maybe even more so last year. But one of the horses that I drew to read the pedigrees on is the 7 horse. She Prefers Gin, which I had a little laugh at because gin is my drink. Okay, yeah. First, and I do prefer a gin. But I had made a post that night, the first night that because it's a 2-day sale, right? I made a post the first night with a glass of gin and this filly's name.
There you go.
Up onto this, right? Oh no, I think I had a big glass of Merlot and then her name. I said, whatever. But I had a little giggle when I saw her in the entries tonight. So sentimentally, I would like to see her win. So I put the 7 up on top over Mafalda, and then the 2 horse, The Lies We Tell. This is interesting. Damian McClellan, of course, we see him drive his own horse all the time, but he's getting a rare call for the Kyle Boston's outfit.
Yeah, it is nice to see. Hopefully he gets a few more as well. Kind of waiting for what about the 5 horse, Elisa? What about the 5 horse? What do you think of that one?
Oh, you want me to try and pronounce its name?
I
You
can't.
are a
Come
real
on.
treat tonight.
Come on. What about the 5 horse?
Luke, say it in my ear so I can repeat it. Are you kidding me? Kuratut de Lac?
That was easy. Huckleberry.
Oh, we're gonna get you later with that one. But this French filly, with that tricky name there. What do you think that means?
I have
now we
no
got to
idea.
Google that and find out what that means.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
They didn't name her after me.
I'll tell you one thing. I will tell you one thing. Speaking of horses that are well named, Gucci Sealster. Did I not tell you last week? Now I know why they named her Gucci Sealster. She's absolutely stunning.
Yeah, she is very, very good looking filly there as well. Okay, so let's take a look at this replay from her. She had a nice, real quiet kind of a qualifier for Louis Wa. Just kept her right down in amongst them, did absolutely nothing with her. But boy, she responded well in this one here. J.R. Plant going to come right back on her as well. And look at him up the inside, J.R. I mean, the shoulders are back on Mr. Plant. He looks like he's got a pair of aces in the hole right now. He's not going to get to where he wanted to be, but I think that was a very, very good first start for her. I'm thinking that probably there's a good chance that maybe they're going to race her somewhat the same kind of way this time. Not try to overdo it too badly, just kind of race her more on the end of it, and that's kind of why I like her in here. Gucci Sealster, I agree with you. Beautiful looking all bets off filly here. Threw her in for a part of it. Candy Kiss, I'm going to throw her in for 3rd in here, and then She Prefers Gin in for 2nd.
Guess what Kuratut de Lac means?
What?
It means Heart of the Lake.
No way.
Yes.
That's a
pretty
They have
name.
such a nice language. It's floaty
Although
and
you could have named her Heart
flowery
of the
and-
Lake, and that's a beautiful name too.
Yeah.
I guess you did name her. They did name her that.
Yeah. Huckleberry.
How many more races? All right, race number 9. Back on the trot here. 5-year-olds and younger non-winners of 1 with a field of 10. Okay, here's a fun one. Ungawa. Right? Right? Did you not see this and have a little laugh?
I seen it. I seen it. Oh, yes.
And Paul McDonnell unleashing a first-timer here tonight that could be anything. I mean, I know the qualifier was on a good track with 2-second variant, right? So it's not exactly the world's fastest time, but Ungawa is
That's
horse
the
I wanna
magic
play.
word.
Is that what it is? Oh, from Pee Wee's Playhouse?
No. No. Are you serious? I know something you don't. This is great. Let me enjoy this for a couple of seconds here. Ungawa is what Tarzan used to say to any animal to get him to do what he wanted to
Yeah,
do.
okay.
He'd look at an elephant because he'd need the elephant to push something over or use his trunk, and he would say, Ungawa, and the elephant would do it. And then he'd do the same thing with a tiger or a cheetah or anything at all. If he wanted them to do something, he'd just have to say Ungawa, and they would do exactly what he wanted. This is the magic word, Ungawa. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Uh-huh.
So I guess Paul just yells that at everybody else coming down
he
the stretch
wins.
tonight, and he wins.
That's it, exactly, for sure. Or if he wanted maybe a nice leaf at the top of the tree, he could umgawa and get him to reach up and grab it for him. But yeah, that's the famous Tarzan word, umgawa. So my way, I'm going to go the Barracuda.
Okay.
That's the route I'm going to go. I liked what he did a couple of times last year. I know we didn't get a win out of him. He was 0 for 10, but there was a couple of checks in there. There was a nice second where he spent some time on the outside at Grand River. I think a couple of times he showed us some real talent. He's had some time off since September. Only the one qualifier, but I thought it was a good one. James sticks. James comes right back with the last quarter and 28-4 in that qualifier, and I think that this colt, this is a roan green Manorishi.
Yes.
This might fit into our stable, but the Barracuda is the way that I'm going to go.
Yes, we're going to have a stable full of gray standardbreds, right? And then we're going to have a stable full of black thoroughbreds, right?
Yeah, I'm going to
Or
feed
we'll
them all
throw a few grays
huckleberries.
in there.
I'm going to call it the Huckleberry Stable.
I will say something.
What?
There's a lot of horses in this race that are untrustworthy too. You know, it could be just a wild superfecta there in race number 9. The 10th race is the final on the program where we play the Jackpot High Five. A reminder that there's a mandatory payout for that on Saturday night if it doesn't happen to go. So it's almost it's $190,000 basically that's in the pool right now. And Tamara Hanover, you know, she was the hot horse last week when she won, and it was second start off with a claim. They had taken her for 8. They took her to Western Fair. She didn't perform well there at all. She made a break, and then she came back here and she took all kinds of support. And I believe you were talking to Cam McQueen, right? And he said something like she just didn't like the tight turns there at all.
Yeah, did not like the tight turns whatsoever. And I'm so glad to see Cam win too. What a nice guy.
Nice guy.
And you want to talk about a guy that is very
honest,
very honest.
Open.
You ask him a question, he's going to tell you the truth.
Transparent.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
You know, there's no shellac with this man. He's my kind of guy. Cam McQueen. Really enjoy watching the job that he does with his horses, and he's done a really nice job with her as well. Coming from a barn, you know, Rod Boyd, very sharp horseman. So this is a bit of a feather for Cam, just keeping her as good as she is in his barn. You know, she hasn't lost any form whatsoever. Looks good, but I'm going to throw her in for third simply because of that outside post position. And with Wifey Said So on the outside of her, I think that they're probably, the pair of them are going to come out of there together. Wifey Said So doesn't bother me as much because she normally does come out of there a lot. Tamara Hanover, now she does a lot of her racing from off. So if James elects to not leave with her, he could get himself into a bit of a bad spot. If he does elect to leave with her, she's going to be up closer to probably the pace, which is, you know, sometimes she's not used to being up close in with the pacemaker. She has a tendency to hang back and then come forward. Sometimes when you stay a little bit close and it happens to be a hot pace or even just a good, honest pace, the kick isn't as good on the end of it there. So I think that there's a few reasons maybe it could go against her, but best of luck to Cam McQueen. I'm going to go the 3-horse in here. Jazzville is the route that I'm going to go. And we're going to take a look at this replay in his last. I think that Trevor did a really good job in this last start. And I think that Phil Houdon is picking himself up a very live Barrington Drive. So let's take a look at this one. You know, Trevor on the outside with this bird right now. And, where are we here, Trevor? Oh, here he is on the outside, on the far outside. The 2-horse got away way at the back, and here he's coming on the outside. And really, when you look at it, he's the only horse that's making healthy gains. Even the ones that he doesn't get, he's still making ground up on them as well. And you can really notice it on the run out. He really gets up alongside of those leaders. No effort from Trevor whatsoever. So Jazzville, Phil Houdon, I think, could maybe pick himself up a live one, and he's the route that I'm going to go, followed by Wifey Said So and Tamara Hanover.
I made 5 selections tonight, so you guys can't get mad at me.
Look at that. Look at you go.
I know.
Yeah.
I got it from you, and I got it from Jeff Bratt the other day. What, you can't pick 5?
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking.
I know. So I did it tonight, and I hope it comes in.
I do too. You know what they call that when you get the mandatory?
Oh, here we go.
There's a word for it.
Yeah, what do you call that, Randy?
It's called a huckleberry.
I knew
Yeah.
I knew
Randy's
it.
going to be using huckleberry all night tonight.
Plays of the night from our resident handicappers and from, oh, there it is. Look at that. It does look like a blueberry, Randy.
That's a huckleberry?
Yeah, so just so you know,
cool.
I had a little peek here. So the huckleberry is a native to the Pacific Northwest and the Rocky Mountain regions, and they are something very similar to a blueberry, a little tart. So you could have like a nice blueberry or huckleberry pie, you know,
Nice.
or huckleberry tart,
Huckleberry, blueberry.
huckleberry bun.
Blueberry,
Yeah.
strawberry.
Yeah, all right. A little huckleberry and strawberry would
Wasn't
be
that in
quite
Seinfeld?
nice.
Huckleberry, blueberry, blueberry, huckleberry.
There you go. You just don't learn only about harness racing here. You learn about fruits and vegetables
There you
and
go.
Tarzan and all sorts of different things.
Oomgawa.
Plays of the night. What do you got?
Okay, my all-in's going to be Exquisite Taste. I think she can come right back for JR and double up. Beat the favorite's going to be Deborah. I know she's in kind of tough, but I was really impressed with her last year, and I'm kind of waiting to see what she looks like this year. I'm hoping she filled out a little bit. She certainly was a good-looking one last year. Waple's Watch going to be Roxy Hart with a shoeing change on her, and worth a look, Jazzville in the last race. You're going to have to stick around for that
Oh, you
one.
know what you missed the
What
other night?
did I
And I'm
miss?
going to have to come up with it. So remember I was saying, you know, I can't have like a Waples watch. I can't do anything with my last name that doesn't sound a little off color. My buddy, Mike Quintanowski, gave me the perfect title for one of my plays of the night.
And?
Blowing Up the Board.
Perfect.
Right? So now I
That's
got to wait for a
absolutely
horse,
perfect.
you know, that's a
Long
big
shot.
price.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's going to be it for me. So
You might be getting it with Ungawa tonight.
I just might.
Yeah.
I don't think he was enough to make him blowing up the tote board, but we'll see. So repeat, I'm going the same as you with Exquisite Taste. I'm all in on doing the Hokey Pokey in the fourth race. Ready off the rest, this My Mum's an Ace is interesting. And then, of course, Ungawa, that first-time starter tonight for Paul McDonnell could be fun to watch as well. We got picks from our handicappers too. Opulent Dragon in race number 7 at 5-1 is a value play for Ghislaine. John's got the French horse with the Heart of the Lake at 3-1.
Huckleberry.
And Garnet's got the Bear Cuda at 3-1 as his spot play. Plenty of good things to look forward to on tonight's program. 10 races for you in total. In the snow. Fa la 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 la. You want to finish that song off? La la la. Ungawa.
Ungawa.
Good luck with your selections on tonight's program.